Hey guys, so this is part 2 of the F V Akiha tutorial I was doing. Today we're gonna spend a fair bit of time, not as much as the mobility and overview section, to cover normals and specials. I intend to do all of them. I mean, I'm gonna probably leave out like Lost Ark and stuff like that because it's not too important in the grand scheme of things. Uh, but other than that, I'll basically try to cover everything anyway. So let's just get into it. So your 5A, actually I forgot about this. I'll have the internet fan on. Should I ever take this fan on? Oh my gosh, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. 5A, standard 5A, not too terribly complicated. It does hit crouchers. Just cover crouch. You know, fairly good. It hits crouchers. I mean, I'm pretty sure most do, but this character's does. So, if you're over here, like run up and 5A check, it's a really good check to just do on occasion to kind of get people to respect just your dash. And of course, it's a good like dash break sort of a thing to do, like dash 5A, dash 5A, dash 5A, to kind of micro space, so to speak, like we call it in Smash. Just run up 5A is a really good check to use on people. Its anti-air capabilities are suspect. Let me just show you. Where is it? I have a recording for this, so I was prepared today. Like that would be a good angle. Actually, let me. Where is it? This would be a good angle that most people will be jumping in at you, especially air dashing at you. For F V Akiha, it's really good because at this angle you can go over people and hit them and jump and stuff like that. It's really good. We'll get into that later. So at this angle, 5A usually loses because the hitbox of it is. Let me just take away that. Restart. Nope. Nope. There we go. The hitbox of it is at the underside of her arm, not above her arm. I don't know if you can see it. Let me. Can you see my mouse? No, you can't. Let me try to do some stuff with this. Oops. Not that. Capture muscles. There we go. Should do it. Can you see my arm? No, you still can't. There we go. Hey, there we go. The hitbox is over here, if you can see my mouse, which I hope you can now. The hitbox is over here, not over here. So if you're trying to anti-air with it, it's probably gonna, depending on the height, it's probably gonna lose if they're jumping in from too high. But if you do it at, say, at this sort of an angle, it'll mostly do its speed. It's, again, not a fantastic anti-air. It's not like, I don't know, who has a really good anti-air? Like, F V Akiha, his jab, is a lot better at anti-airing stuff like that than F V Akiha's is. But it's still a fairly good jab to just run up and do, and, I don't think I'll be recording for that. No, I don't, because I'm dumb. Let me see if I did that right. Like that. That's a better example than I could have expected. Because of her dash's low profile, I think I mentioned this last time, but because of her dash's low profile, sometimes that will happen. But most of the time, you can just go under the opponent and 5A them on the other side, and for that, it's a fairly standard fairly good stand jab for that. Like all other anti-airs, if it counter hits, you get anything and everything you want. Let me just get them to jump. Kind of stretch it. This training mode is so bad, but if you you can't hit with 5A, you get anything you want, but that's standard Melty stuff. No one cares. Bop. Stuff like that. I'm probably gonna drop it because it's early in the day for me. But yeah. So that's the thing that is this. Really good 5A. 2A. 2A is low, as you can see. She was stand blocking and guarding everything, but now she's blocking low. 2A, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, 5A is +4 on block, and there are some characters that can duck 5A, but those aren't, like, this character has to, you know, she has to block like 4 or 5, how many is that? Like if I dash in 5A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's like 6 5As, right? But if she's crouching, she has to block less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, she's going under them. So there are characters that exist for whom you have to do even less 5As than 4. Some characters I think you have to do like 3, depends on the character. But you just keep that in mind. If they're crouch blocking, your 5A might miss. So just do like 2 5As if you're trying to look for confirms and stuff like that, and get your confirming reactions up to snuff with confirming off 2 hits and stuff like that. So that's where 2A comes into play, because 2A doesn't have that issue. You know, you can just run up in 2A however you want. It's a standard 2A in Melty. You mass 2A on wake up. That's how it always goes. Don't do that. But 2A is +3 on block instead of +4, but it's still pretty good considering most. This is F Moon frames, man. It's like, you know, this is a frame trap. I can even show that. Crouch, enemy reaction, cover A. Whoops. Whoops. You know, stuff like that. It's a really good frame trap tool to kind of get the oh my god, I forgot about that. To get the opponent respecting you, you know. It's really strong a tool on offense or on defense. On defense, I mean, of course, if you're matching it on defense, if you get counter hit, it's your ass. Like I've mentioned it several times because she has low life. So be extremely judicious in when you want to match it, and if you get blown up for it, you know, you gotta hold that. So not too much else to talk about it. Also, for some characters this is the case, but for this is not the for her it's not the case, where some characters get better combos, better damage in a punish scenario if they start the combo with the 2A. For her, it's not the case because her 2A creates pretty damn early compared to her 5B, which is what I'll be talking about next. So if you want to start punishes with stuff, don't do it with 2A or don't do it with 5A. Do it with this button, 5B, which we'll talk about right now. 5B is a standing low. She's blocking it low. You can see it. It's an amazing button in a way that's not standard. It's -1 on block. Did I mention 2S +3? Yeah, I did. 2S +3 on block. And this is -1. It's not too bad considering the range it leaves you at. And -1 is honestly not that bad. You can just, you know, continue. Not necessarily continue pressure, but it's a mix up scenario. You know, who wants to? You can take advantage of what the opponent wants to do. So if the beauty of 5B is that it's a standing low, and because it's a standing B, they have to stand shield it and not crouch shield it. If someone is trying to wake up shield against you, and you know you've been threatening them with wake up 2As, and someone's like, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm just gonna wake up shield. They're saying, you know, most people will crouch and shield because if they miss the shield window, they'll end up crouch blocking, and then, you know, it's okay because you don't really have an overhead to be threatened with, which I'll get to later. But if they do get it, they'll often be doing a crouch shield, and 5V is excellent at blowing that up. And it's also a really good punish tool in general because on counter hit, where is it? Oh, counter hit's some bad things. It is. Okay. Yay. On counter hit, you get to link another one. And I'm gonna miss this because I'm an idiot. And I'm gonna miss it again. And I'm gonna miss it again. I'm starting to doubt myself at this point. There we go! It's a 3-hit combo. I should probably take off input display for this. I'll only show it when it's relevant. You know, it's a link. So if you block something, your best punish starter is usually 5A, 5C. Not 5A, 5C, or 5B, 5C, but if you get a counter hit, you get that, and that's just a chunk of damage. Let me just do a basic combo. Whoops. I mean, I didn't even finish the combo and it was like already 4k. I mean, granted it's on F V Akiha, but still, the damage is extremely high if you get a counter hit 5B. And you will get a counter hit 5B if people are wake up low shielding against you all the time. And it's again a low, so they have to respect it by guarding low, which is useful, extremely useful, because if they're guarding low, they're opening themselves up to this kind of stuff. Yeah, not that, you know, other stuff. 2B. This move is not a low. It's despite what it suggests, it's not a low. Guard. Status guard. This move is not a low. It's a mid. Who would have thunk? It's basically useless. There's nothing much I can say about it. It's oh yeah. The second part of it is though you have the string 2BB. It's absolutely terrible. Don't bother with it. The first hit is mid. The second hit, I mean, when I say hit, I mean like the button press is kind of the hit. 2B. The second hit is low, and the third is an overhead, which I can show if I say it. It's an overhead. No one's gonna get hit by it. I mean, people are gonna get hit by it if you do it once every 100 matches. You know, like if you run open, like they might not expect it. It's extremely rare to even to be perfectly honest. I didn't even know this move existed on like a few, until a few weeks ago. So like that shows how irrelevant the move is. No one ever uses it. In some air throw conversions you can use it because in the air it'll combo. On the ground it just doesn't. Like I showed, like if you do 2BBB, and the low will hit but the overhead won't even combo. In the air that's not the case, so you can actually combo with it. And I'm gonna drop it like an idiot. Whoops, that's not what you do on this character. Oh yeah, the overhead is air blockable. Forgot to mention that. I guess there's something in the corner. It's very character specific. It's, you know, it shows you how unworth it this garbage is. There we go. And I'm gonna keep dropping it because it's stupid and worthless. No one ever does this. It's very character specific. Don't bother with it. Basically, just don't even bother with it. No one cares. No one cares about this. If you forget to even know that she has this move, like it's okay. No one cares. Moving on. 5C. I've had people tell me this is a great anti-air, and to be honest, it is when you look at the hitbox of it. If you don't have hitboxes, you can download frame display. You can find it on Google. It's really easy. But if you're looking for like anti-airs like that, oh what the hell? Like that, it's a better anti-air hitbox than 5A. Like I kind of hit for 5A there. I mean, it can work. 5A can also work. What the hell? Not gonna dish myself. Like, I mean, 5A can work, but 5C also works. 5C does more damage. Oh, what the hell? But the problem with 5C is it's a long startup move, and its recovery is kind of high. So, like I said, like if you miss it, and someone like if you're trying to anti-air someone, if you just 5A5Aing, it's a lot harder to thread the needle and kind of go in between that compared to, you know, baiting a 5B and then, you know, 5C rather, and jumping over it. Just to mention, 5B is absolutely not a anti-air of any sort. 5B is also useful in tech chase scenarios. Let me just set that up. Where is it? Recovery. Let me just do that one. Hey, damn, I'm tired. You can do stuff like that. Because it's backtick, I'm not used to it taking catching backtick. Let me take forward tech. You know, 5B goes a fair bit forward, and it's really good at chasing tech in those sort of situations where you set up like 2A, 2A, 5A, 5B, and then E5, B5, C them as they try to tech roll either side. It's guaranteed, and then you react to which side this was and do the DP after and stuff like that. You know, really strong. It's a really strong starter to get that, and especially if you get it after a tech chase, you often have drained a fair bit of life, and that's a really good starter. So yeah, 5C, like I said, good end here in terms of hitbox, but I personally don't use it, and I don't see a whole lot of people use it because it's really slow. It's like 10 frame startup, so you can't really react with it. Sorry, and if if it gets baited, or like if someone just like delays their A dash a little bit, you're gonna get blown up for it. So keep that in mind. 2C, standard sweep. It's used in as a it's used in combos a little bit. If you're trying to do 5B 5C as a starter compared to 5B 2C, 2C has more damage duration. So if you start if you do 2C 63A, that did 2148, but if you do 5C 214C, 263C, it did 2387. So if you're trying to do combos, 5B 5C does more damage, but 5B 2C, especially for the 63A combos. Oh god. Whoa. For the 63A combos, it's easier because it'll start floating them, and the gravity scaling will help with the combos a little bit. But don't bother with doing that. Honestly, just learn the optimal one because it's much safer. 2C is a little bit punishable. I can't remember how much it is. It's like probably like -8 or -9. Actually, let's just test that. 5B is fine frame startup, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Let me just record. I mean, don't do a street meaty. I think that goes without saying, but don't do a street meaty. What the hell? I didn't block that. I'm dumb. Oh, it's gonna run away. And that's probably too late. That's too late. Again, now it's too early. Okay, I'm done. Damn, that doesn't seem that punchable, huh? But, like, I mean, even if it isn't punishable, I mean, even if it's not that punishable, it's still fairly punishable to a certain extent. It does take off the guard bar a fair bit. Let me just set that up. Where can we start? It's a fair move for taking off chunks of the guard bar, but honestly, just don't really. Sweep shouldn't be an offensive thing you're looking for at like. I'm just gonna run up and sweep you. Oh, I'm just gonna run up and sweep you. Like, don't mess with that. Just use 2As for that. You know, if you're looking for conversions of blows. What else? 4C. This is her furthest reaching normal. It reaches right on. Damn. Right about here. There we go. And at max range, it's hard to get a combo off of it. If you just 4C by itself and try to combo off of it, it's very character specific and really just suspect in general. Like that, like it'll whiff. You have to do like some ghetto conversions. Don't mess with that. If you do 4C and jump cancel that into the A pit, you can combo off it. I think B pit works as well. That's hard. I haven't done this in a while. Don't do that. You know, that works. So let me just show my inputs for that. Input display. Don't do the C pit. The C pit is outside of corner. It's not worth it to do in this setup. Oh, you can do stuff like that. I stopped it because I'm dumb. But that kind of stuff exists, especially if you're looking for faraway punishes where you can't run up and get a 5B, 5C and stuff like that. You're like, I just want some sort of a punish. You can 4C. If your dash 4C will reach. 4C is extremely negative on block. It's like minus 16. But let me just show the block, how far you get pushed away on block. That's, you know, it's a fair bit of pushback. So it's really difficult for most characters to get like a normal punish. Some characters might be able to like Kuma might be able to get Rekka. I'm not exactly sure. But things like that exist, you know. So it's a thing that can happen to you, especially with some arc drives that are extremely fast. So keep that in mind. If you ever get punished for it, know that it was extremely punishable. Most of the times, you shouldn't extend your block strings to the point where you have to use it, like stuff like that. I mean, it's okay, but you shouldn't have had to go that far, you know? Like, make the read of, oh, they're gonna just block, I'm just gonna go back in again, you know? Don't mess with that too much. I mean, it is worth it to go for that, especially it confirms it confirms by itself. What am I talking about? Because it is 2 hits and you can just jump cancel it if you see it, like, and you can just hold it forward as soon as you see the second one, come off it. So yeah, it's a primary launcher because it sets up most of your stuff really well, and it's a 2-hit thing. It works out. And what else about it? I'm trying to think of anything with Force C. Oh yeah. Whoa, sorry. If you're, like I said, if you're too far away, your jump A, C will be really suspect and depends on the character. You know, like that. It'll whiff like that. That was exactly the thing I was looking for. But if you're too close, if you're like, that's your basic BNB. But if you're too far away for that, your jump C. Oh, that was too close. That was again too close. Damn. Like that, your jump B will whiff, and you'll oftentimes have a better success rate trying to go for a jump C. Not a jump C, but a jump A. So, I mean, there's that. At some ranges, like I showed, jump A, jump C whiffs. Depends on the character, depends on the spacing, depends on height, depends on everything like that. It's 2 hits, so if you anti-air with it and you get it confirmed, you don't get the standard Melty confirm of, oh, they can't hit, let me just run up and blah, blah, blah. You don't get to do that because it is 2 hits. So keep that in mind if you're trying to use it as an anti-air, which is, it's not terrible at, but it's a better poke at stopping ground approaches than anything. So there's that. 6C. I think there's a nickname for this move, but I don't remember what it is. It's a really slow overhead. It's like 25 frame startup. It's extremely slow, but no one ever sees it, so everyone gets hit by it. So like that will work at least once in a tournament, you know. It'll work at least once or twice. Like after that, people will just get used to reacting to it, but no one really expects it the first time, or you know, because no one ever. She has much better mix-up tools than that. So like running up at someone and just doing 6C on their wake up. If they're not already matching something like that, you know, if they're not already matching RD pressure, they'll just get hit by this. So it's something to use very much on occasion. If you get a hit, you can confirm by dashing after it, and if you're not dumb like me, you'll go to the other side. And I keep doing it again, especially when you can do stuff like that. You know, you can do stuff like that. There's a lot of depth with it in terms of what combos you want to do off of it. So I don't, you know, in the corner you can do other stuff. Let me just show. I think that works. What else works? I mean, you can. Oh, that doesn't. There we go. Like that, you can confirm off of it. It's, you know, whatever. It's not something you'll be doing like every day as part of your mix-up. You know, every match. So the rare few times you bust it out, know how to confirm off of it to get some damage, but otherwise don't really mess with it. It's, you know, it's a tool. It works because it's never seen. Basically, it's a 20 frame overhead. It works basically because like no one ever expects it. They'll once you hit them with it once, they're ready for it and they'll block it on reaction. Like if they're a good player, so don't bother with it too much as part of a mix-up plan. So yeah, 3C, standard 3C. The animation is similar to most to I have F, I don't have B. C. For C V Akiha, she is like a 5BB string. She'll like swipe downwards and then swipe upwards. This is the second move of that animation. This is the second move of that. But for it's a standard 3C launcher. It's really good as an anti-hero actually. It's slow, like I mentioned. 5C is slow. But this is also slow. But the point of why you would use it is because it hits really high up. Let me just... Oh, actually, I have to record it. Because... Let me just show that. Oh, whoops. It hits really high up. Let me just show a good example of that. That was a bad example. I swear, like that. Like, most of our normal anti-airs won't reach that high. You know, let me just actually show that with a freeze frame. Whoops. You know, oh, gotta mess it up. This is hard. There we go. Perfect. Most of her ground normals will not reach that high, and they will not enter a jump off that angle, you know? So it's extremely useful to have this, to keep this in the back of your pocket, especially if people are jumping over you. If people are jumping over you, trying to air dash above you, it's a cool tool to have. Especially if it gets a counter hit, then, like, if it doesn't get a counter hit, trying to confirm off of it is really hard, and most oftentimes they'll just get away from you. Unless you were like ready for it with some amazing confirms, then you're just god. But if it counter hits, then you get your standard Melty thing of. I don't know if you can set it to counter hit and still have a dummy. Like that. Like, and then they come down and blah, and you get to do your thing. So that's really cool. Let me just turn counter off because it's gonna get annoying. So that's 3C in a nutshell. It's also used for Momiji combos, Momiji loops. I mean, at least I use it. Some people don't use it because they tend to use 4C, but the 4C one's a lot more character specific. This one is extremely simple and universal. And then you do 2C, 3C in that. Then you do another 2C, 3C Momiji, and then there's that. So it's good, you know, it's good for that. It's good against Nekos if you ever play against one, for the basic combos. But other than that, mid screen you don't really need it outside of a really situational end here. So there's that. Damn, it's been a half an hour and I've been just talking about ground normal. So stupid. Jump A. Standard jump A, if you want to poke someone in the air like that, whoops, like you can do stuff like that. It's your average jump A. What more do you want from it? It hits basically in front of her, not really too high up, not really too far down. Really good for it's really good for the things you want to use it for. Is how I would say it. Jump B. It's the standard Akiha jump B that kind of, you know, the kick is really high up. It's a really good neutral jump, not neutral jump. It's really good, like, if someone's trying to, you know, come down from you at a really high angle where you're not sure if 3C is gonna do the trick for you, just call it out with the jump B, jump C. And especially if you get a counter hit, jump B, and then come down. Actually, I can show that. Nope, not show that way. Show it this way. Like, you can do stuff like that, especially if you call it out. You get good conversions off of it. So it's just a different end tier tool to remember. Let's have her look. Sorry. Jump C. I mean, jump A and jump B are fairly standard. You combo, then they're also good combo tools, but mostly as air-to-air pokes. Jump C though, this is where the madness lies. Like I have shown plenty of times, it can cross up, like that. And it can cross up and then you can come back on the front. This is a lot of stuff with that. This is the H animation, but unlike the H one, which I'm pretty sure is not an overhead. If I'm wrong, please correct me. This is an overhead. So, okay. This is an overhead. She was trying to block low, but she got hit. So, this is basically where most of her mix-ups lie, in the ability to make this move cross up and land like that. I am pretty sure there are ways you can cross up and land in the front. Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard to show. I don't know if that really exists, but it exists in games like KOF, but there's not KOF, there's Melty, but yeah, I can't really seem to find that. I don't know if it really exists. It probably does, but you know, it's very difficult to get it to happen. Who cares? Jump C, you can just that. You just have a lot of mix-up. Was that what it was? Like it just crossed up in the front, something like that. Like you can do stuff like, stuff like that, and that's really good. Especially if there's pit behind them, you can push them in the pit that way. Really good stuff. Especially like if you're setting a cross up and then you just land in the front. I mean, that was not a very good demonstration of that. You usually use puffball for that. Usually, because it's a better downward angle. But jump C can work like that depending on the situation, especially if they're crouching. Let me show that. Like stuff like that. It can work as a, cross-up baiting tool, but most people, when they see you air dash, they'll just stand up anyway. So, depending on whether they crouch or stand, this move has different interaction in terms of how it's going to cross up and stuff like that. So, it's a really good mix-up tool. It's fairly, I don't want to call it easy to blow up, but most people when they're learning like anti F V Akiha, they look at one of the main tools they're looking for is how do I beat jump C? Is do I have a normal? Do I have like air to air situations that I can set up? That what angles can I beat it at? It's not a very good air to air. It can work if you just kind of hit someone out of something, but as a normal to normal interaction, it's not going to work very well. Which is where jump E and jump A and your air throw, which I haven't mentioned, come into play. So keep that in mind in terms of it's not a very good air to air, but it's a super air to ground because of its ability to cross up, because of the cancels you have after it, because of your kind of mix-ups and your mobility, making this move really strong. So can't really say too much else about it. It's just stupid. Go watch good Akiha players, good F V Akiha players use this move. It's just really good. Let's go over ground throws and air throws for a little bit because I don't think I'm going to mention them anywhere else. For ground throw, it's 7 hits. Most people figure out how to mash properly to reduce the damage on them. But the thing with this one is, can I set this up that way somehow? No recover. Yeah, I can do that. Let me just throw you. And let's get some red life. That's probably enough. If you have red life and you throw someone, your red life gets back. So it's a good if you're coming back and you have a lot of red life and you don't really have a you don't have max, so you can't really do like BC heat. You don't have stuff like that. Let me just show that right now. You don't have stuff like that to immediately get all your red life back. It's a really good tool, especially like if you just run up and throw someone, then run up and throw someone, and run up and throw someone. Like it can work. It's not safe by any stretch of the imagination, but it can work. So if you're looking for a comeback, this is a really good tool because of its ability to give you life back. It's also got good mix up off of it. I messed that up. You can you can do stuff like that because they're stuck on the ground for a really long time. I'm bad at doing that mix up, but you'll see people that in Japanese play do stuff like that, or they'll. It's really good to mix up what kind of mix up you're doing off of it. Where if you throw someone, you can do a melee 2A. Oh yeah. You can do a charged pillar. And get someone to block stuff like that. You can, like I said, did that one, stuff like that. That was incredibly stupid. So there's stuff like that. It's really good. It's just a really good throw, and it's knockdown. It's not like the tech chase throws that are better in the corner than they are mid screen. This throw is basically good everywhere. But yeah, air throw. I'll show the combo air throw in a second, but this air throw, standard air throw, you get a bounce. What combo you want to do after it depends on what you want to do. The easiest thing to do and the most consistent is just to do a 2d6 A or B, doesn't really matter. Does it? Yeah. That doesn't matter. Both of them will work and both of them will get you knocked down. So A can be good if you want to switch sides, but honestly, if you're looking to switch sides, just throw them the other way. You get a better conversion off it that way. It's a really good tool. I mean, it's a standard air throw. What else do you want from it? You can oh, I got you with the net here, stuff like that. You can come down with a jump A with that. The most optimal thing is, I think, oh yeah, starting with a pit immediately, or putting out a pit behind them. If you want to go for Oki, you can set up pits behind people. Let me set that up properly. You can only get one pit, but I thought you could get two, but I'm dumb. Might be able to do it if you could, unlike me. So, if you get that, you can set a pit, you can get a knockdown. You can you can use a pit to get the air combo and then combo off of it, which is usually the standard, or you can land 2A. Landing and 2Aing, I mean, it all depends on the situation, what kind of combo you want to do. It's very, very, what was the word I was looking for? It's very versatile, what combo you want to do off of it. It's really up to your preference. That was the word I was looking for, preference. It's really your preference what combo you want to do off of it. When you combo, let me just have an up block so I can combo. Whoops. You get kind of far away. I'll try to mash 2A as soon as I recover. Actually, I should take off trading display, input display at this point. Oh, no, it's kind of next, right? You barely have enough time to get a meaty 2A. Some people, let me show. If you haven't practiced that, people will mash you out of it, and that's kind of annoying because, I got my air throw, I got my mix up, but then you just mess it up. like you can get it so that they can't smash, but if you're too far away, you can't really confirm over it properly, and they're too far away to get a true frame trap going with 2A repeat 2A. So, oh god. Oh, whoops. I know how you can fix that. You know, like that. They can jab you out of it. So keep that in mind if you're trying to dash up and do it too close. The best thing you can do as a meaty, I mean, outside of run up 2A, is you can get a 4C. You can get a run up 2C. Let me just show that. Oh, whoops. I don't think you need to run up for 2C. I don't think. I might have been lying about that. Yeah, you don't need to do that for 2C. So you can do that if you really wanted to. Again, it's more like a deterring them from mashing. You know, they're like, oh, he's risky enough to kind of just 4C right after that. Okay, I'll to bake my immediate mashing properly. Well, I just won't do it. Then you get more, you get respect off of it. So that's a thing you can do. I think like 2C can also low profile some DPs that way, especially if it's further away. Actually, let me just try that. This might be useful in the Scion matchup. Or 8 Scion matchup. No one cares about Scion killers. But yeah, it's a standard death throw. It doesn't have a ton of corner carry to it. Like some death throws have really good corner carry. Let me just set that up. Whoops, that was not what I wanted. And there we go. That would be okay. Set it to recover. It's whatever. No one cares. Set it to dummy. Ah. Oh god, this is gonna be awful. Oh god, stop! Stop, woman! Oh my god, stop! Oh my god! Okay, whatever. You can look that up in your own time, dude. It's not something I'm gonna be looking up terribly. It's been 40 minutes already. It's stupid. There we go. But it's a thing you can try doing. Not particularly relevant to what you're discussing right now. So there was that. Your air throw off of combo, not super plus on block, super plus on hit, but plus enough to where you can get a 2A meaty, and you can get other normals meaty. It exists. What else? I think that's basically all the normals. I'm forgetting 2140 and 260. 2140 bunker. It's a standard F bunker. It's not terribly, oh my god, good. There's her bunker in particular, because like most bunkers, I think I still have a mouse, I can show. Most bunkers will like hit around here, They're good for that, if someone is like doing blockchain and stuff like that, it's good, because you can just blow through it, right? But, let me just get my mouse. Her bunker goes really far down. It slides down, and it's the high profile or high profile. It's low profile if it goes under it. I don't know. It's high crushing, or in Tekken I guess you would call it high crushing. But her high crushing ability doesn't start at frame 1. It starts a little bit late into the animation, so it's not terribly good for that. Good for just going into stuff either. It's a box standard bunker. Just do it and it works. Whoops! Don't do that. Stuff like that. It doesn't get terribly good Oki. It's kind of whatever. It's a bunker. You have to use it at some points, but be deliberate with it is what I would say. Shield 2v6. Oh god, sorry. It's a standard 360 from F Moon, nothing too complicated about it. It gives good Oki. I've seen people do. Okay, not that. They won't be dropping the combos from the ring. Ah, do it again. Ah! Like, they'll do that, they'll do the 2C, and they'll air dash and... Let me just show that. I mean, they'll do the 2C, and after the 2C, they'll do... Like, stuff like that. It's really weird stuff. I'm not particularly good at executing that setup, but it exists, and the jump C will, like, hit on the proper side. And then you can 5v5C push them into the pit. It does a lot of damage. So, you can use that to set up basically anything you want. It's your ball standard shield follow-up. Again, she's not Sea Moon, so she doesn't have EX Shield. So yeah. Shield as a defensive option for this character isn't too bad because you oftentimes need it to get someone off of you. But if you do a shield and they blow it up by just waiting and punishing your offense, and F V Akiha is better than others. But if they do that, it's your ass on the platter. It's a counter hit punish. You're gonna die. You can't really afford to take that much damage, really. So, be very, very careful with it. So, don't just throw shield out willy nilly because if you get caught for that, you're gonna have a bad time. So, keep note of that. What else? What else? Oh, game on turn. I should have slept early. Whatever. So. That's basically all her ground normals. Air dash, like I said, it's good. It's good as mentioned in the mobility section. So let's go on to our specials now because I haven't wasted time enough already. Let's start with the most useless one and get to the more useful ones later. Puffball. Ground puffball is not good. It's not. It's most of her ground specials are not as good. If they have an air version, they're usually not as good as that air version. So. This is not. It's not an exception to the rule. This move is kind of butt. It's not terribly good. It doesn't even combo properly at range. Like it's 2 and 2. It doesn't even combo right on the ground. In the air, I think it does. Whoops. And it does. It does in the air, but not on the ground. So don't use it too much as a. You will never use it on the ground. Like there's no context in which this movement will ever be good on the ground. The C version is okay. The B version is good as a you would think it's a good this is a good anti-air and this is a good what do you call it ground dash stopping poke. But the problem with this is that it hits kind of high, and if you let me just actually record that. If you think they're gonna do the ground, they're gonna come in the ground and do the ground one, and they do an air dash instead. You're kind of sort of gonna lose a lot of life. Oh wait, did I do that? Okay. No, don't do that. I'm a garbage human being. Oh, whoops. It's actually a fairly okay. Oh what? Is it? Whoa, it says that this is exactly what it's at a time. I don't know the B version was this useful. I might just be bad at going around it. But she was covered for that. Done? Something new today? Well, they're okay ground pokes, I guess. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought you could always just air dash off over it properly. I guess I was just timing it badly then. So, I mean, the problem, it's still like, how are you gonna convert off of this? You can't convert off of this, really. It's, if they're jumping and you do one, oftentimes they'll just get hit by the 2 and then they'll just bounce up and the other 2 won't hit. Which is most often the case in the corner. And most of the time, if you do use it if you use at least the A version as an anti-air, it's 2 hits then 2 hits. It's extremely difficult to kind of get a situation where you'll get 1 hit counter hit and then you'll be able to combo off of it. It's extremely rare. Most of the time, oh, that's actually going to make me disoriented a little bit. Most of the time, they'll just get hit by one and they'll get counter hit by the first one, then get hit by the second, and you can't combo off of it. So that kind of sucks. The good thing about this move is this is air unblockable. These are air unblockable. I think the C version isn't. C version might be, I don't know. Never see it used for that. C version is air blockable, but the A and B versions are not. Set it to air all block, and then you're kind of getting hit. Yeah, it's all guard. But they're getting hit. It's good if you're timing the puffball, then they'll come in on the later 2 hits, because then you kind of have a conversion ability. But then that's you preemptively poking with it, where you could have been doing other things like going in with jump C, or staying away with pillars, or actually doing air puffball. So it's not terribly worth it. Most people didn't use it. One use that I did find for it is after an air throw in the corner. If you immediately do this, and I'm bad at it. And I'm really bad at it. You can, if you're looking to immediately jump out of your pressure, you can do that one. And especially if it's gonna kill them, it's good for that. But it's fairly situational. Don't mess with it. It's just leave it alone. For the most part, you'll do fine. Most the top level F V Akihas don't use this move at all, and they do just fine. What else? Another useless move, Pit. Pit as a move itself is good. The ground version sucks because it has so much recovery. I'm kind of mashing 5A as soon as she's done recovering, and you can kind of see there's a lot of recovery on it. The ground version is just basically useless. Don't bother with it. The air version is superior in every single way. Ground pillar. Ground pillar is actually fairly tall and can work as a preemptive anti-air, especially if they're over at this angle and they're kind of using pokes that your 5A and your 3Cs and your jump Bs have kind of a tough time beating, which depending on the spacing, it's a thing that can happen. Over here, if you're over here and there's someone's gonna poke, you can use it kind of as a counter hit tool. If only the first one hits, because it's several pillars. Whoa, what the hell? Oh my god! Wow, this. Okay, there we go. So if you're poking with it over here and they get hit by the first one and they kind of bounce up a little bit, you can combo off of it, but not too terribly. It's not gonna happen too often, but be careful of the times that it will, and be able to convert off of it. Ground pillar again has a lot more recovery than the air pillar, so don't mess with it too much. Don't make a habit of just running around and just doing the charged one, or just regularly doing it. It's good in block strings. It's good in trying to maintain pressure, and kind of going back in after it. Sorry, but there's that. So you can kind of use it to set up more frame advantage if they're really expecting you, and use it as a recent opportunity to get it. So C version, I'll be honest, I never see it used. It might have some uses in combos, but again, I don't see it ever used, so don't really mess with it. Oh yeah, pits don't have, I don't think I mentioned this before, but pits don't have an EX version. The C version is just, it'll set the pit out the farthest range that it can. This is the A version, this is the B version, this is the C version. They kind of go, relatively far, but there's no super pit, so to speak. So keep that in mind. What else am I missing? Oh yeah, the Mumiji series. Most Akihas, like C Akiha or H Akiha, they have the A version, which is a knockdown tool that it'll just hit and immediately knock them down for a hard knockdown for mix-ups. She doesn't have that. What she has is basically mid-screen to corner carry. It's a special that's like almost basically designed for mid-screen to corner carry. It's extremely good for that if you put it in combos. What to do? You know, and then you like basically just push them in the corner. It's really good for corner carry. So if you get a hit mid screen, it's really good for that. In the corner, it's also good because you can use it for it's again a really good starter. It doesn't get it doesn't get hit too hardly by scaling inspiration, so it's a really good move for combos. Basically for combos only. It can work as a delayed frame trap. You know, you do like, and then you do that. You know, if they're looking to poke after the 5B5C, you can use that. And especially it's good because, and this is an F Moon thing, where if they block, you can IH cancel it. So initiate heat, initiative heat, IH. I just call it IH. You know, you can run it and maintain more pressure after it. So if you want to blow your max on it, and if you kind of have a lot of life lead you want to make up, and they just keep blocking, it's, you know, doing this, and then, you know, what did it say? Initiative heat. There we go. Doing that and IH canceling it. It's kind of like a Roman cancel in a way, where you spend some of your meter and make your move safe. It's just that. Doing that in combos is not terribly worth it. For combos, you'd rather do 5B5C IH because you can get another 5B5C after it. But, you know, if you're looking for block string pressure, and you can just run up and do that. You know, maintain pressure after that. Really good stuff. 63B. This is the standard Momiji that you use for Momiji loops. I think it's Momiji or Momiji or something like that. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's one of our iconic combos that I dropped because I'm a squirrel. There we go. After the third one, you get knocked down, and you get combos. Oh yeah, ground pit explode is a lot better than the air one because of how much less recovery it has. But again, pit explode is not something you do manually. Whoa, it's usually something you just set up after a knockdown, not a knockdown, but as a block stun pressure tool. Like, you have a pit behind them, and you kind of push them into the pit with the normal. Excuse me, my throat's kind of getting messed up. So there's that. It's, you know, pit explosion. That's kind of okay, but don't bother with it too much. 63A, 63B, 63C. It's a good tool. It's a good knockdown. I mean, I forgot to mention, if you do it mid-screen, 63B does give really good corner carry, and you can set up stuff off of it. It's not really worth it if you're thinking about optimal combos. Optimal combos for corner carry usually involve 63A. Oh yeah, 63A, both hits are jump cancelable if you didn't know that. In corners, you would usually jump cancel the first hit because of less scaling. But mid-screen, you can choose to do both. It doesn't really matter. If you just cancel the first hit mid-screen, it's kind of a harder conversion. But in the corner, it doesn't really matter because you're right next to them anyway. You don't need to air dash over. So yeah, Well, 63C, I mentioned it's a tool you can use in Wake Up. Let me show that right here. She's doing melee 2A. So let me do a better melee 2A. Just give me a good 2A, man. That looked okay. Oh no, I reset it. Nah, I'm dumb. There we go. That's fairly box standard meaty, except whoops, I messed that up. I messed it up again. And I'm dumb. Oh my god. Just give me a reversal, woman. There we go. If you get that, you can combo off of it. You can air dash cancel or jump cancel the last hit. You know, you can do like you whiff the jump A and you do 2C or 2C stuff like that. It's a thing that you can do. Learning the proper conditions of it, I think I'm just gonna link a video at the end of the tutorial that links to the really good F V Akiha combos. I'll probably have some of my own in the middle or something like that for basic combos, but a full combo encyclopedia will be in the playlist when I finish this. Should be there anyway. I think it's made by Tobari, one of the premier F V Akihas before we stop playing, as far as I know anyway. But his combos, he shows like what to do once this hits. You know, you can do stuff off of that. It's really good for corner carry, but usually don't want to spend bar on a corner carry. Doesn't have terrible paration. It's not like the 63B where it just has awful paration. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that 63B is awful paration, so you don't use it for damage in combos. You use it for the meter build. I think I mentioned that before in the older one. I'll mention it again. What else about this move? 63B series, 63B, I don't think you can IH cancel that. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't IH cancel either of them, so if they get blocked, it's your ass. Like I've been saying all this time. So, yeah. I think I mentioned ground pillar, ground pit, ground pillar, this puffball, and 63B. Doesn't have any more specials. In 4 I forget, like, oh my god, cheers with this ground special, like, whatever. Now air specials. This is where she gets really, really ridiculous. Let's start with the easiest one to explain. Pillar. It's standard pillar, except you're doing it in the air. It has less recovery, especially if you do it really low to the ground like that. Like, oh my god, like that, or like that. Let me show a good example where it's really low, like that. That would be like the best jump to the air pillar that you could get in terms of recovery. I mentioned before that it has more recovery. It has added recovery on the ground. You know that if they call which version you're doing, don't do that. If they call like, you know, you're gonna be the B version, but they're close enough to where they can dash in and punish you, you can kind of get blown up for it because of the bigger recovery on it. But that's it's okay. Pillar is mostly used as, at least charge word anyway. It's mostly used in the air as a tool where. Is that gonna work? Nope. Like that. They'll use it as a tool where they'll just get you to block it and they get to run up and do mix-ups to you. It's really good for that. What else about it? Nothing too complicated really. It's just a thing you do. Like I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned this before, but you can also use it in neutral, kind of like if you're running around and kind of just do that. It's a tool that protects the ground that you're immediately going to land into if you don't really have better options. I mean, you always have your normals. You always have just movement if you haven't used up your movement option already. If you don't want to land on something that you find somewhat threatening, you can, always just move out. You can use pit to stop yourself. I'll get to that later. But you can also just do that, to kind of stop yourself and create a place for you to land relatively safely anyway. Of course, if someone's going to jump in at you and do that when you're trying to do pillar, you're just going to get blown up. So keep that in mind, of course. Not terribly complicated. C version, I don't see ever used. It seems okay as something to get people to block, but again, most setups that you do often involve the charged A pillar or B pillar anyway, which are like just as good. See, they're just as good enough to where you don't want to spend meter on it. So yeah, there's that. Air pit, much better. It has way less recovery. Pit trigger is not as good. Just don't trigger pits by yourself, man. Whenever you're trying to do it, just always make people block stuff into it, which is the best way to use pit by far. The main use of pit is in movement, like in neutral. You wanna use it to as a movement, something to just stop yourself. Oh my god, I don't want to land into whatever you're setting up. I'm just gonna stop right here. I'm not particularly good at doing it really fast. Like that. I mean, you can do it better than that, but I'm not particularly good at it. So I can't really show you the proper ways of like the fastest way to do it. But you get good at it once you get good with the character. In neutral, it also, besides being a good movement tool. Oh, by the way, if you're doing the jump pillar, you don't get to do any more movement options. You don't get to like do any normals. You don't get to do anything. So if you do a pillar, you're committing pretty damn hard. So don't make doing that a habit, because if it gets blown up, you literally don't have anything to defend yourself with. You're just gonna land. It's gonna be extra recovery. They're gonna come down on you, and your life's gonna be miserable. You don't want your life to be miserable. So pit in neutral is a like I said, it's a good movement tool because it makes you stop immediately, and it's not affected by if you're dash jumping. You'll still stop the same way. Relatively the same way, anyway. Yeah, I don't think there's a difference. You stop the same way. It's the same sort of momentum break that's applied to you. Really good for that. But it's also really good, especially if you got up in the air. The A, B, and C version look identical, so the opponent doesn't really know which way they should be going. And pit, especially if you combine pit with pillar, or any of the blocks sim tool anyway. It's really good. It's a thing they don't want to end up having to block, so people will try to get away from pit. It's not as threatening as, say, an Alco's Orb or Sisei's 214A. As a, oh my god, she's over here and over there, and she's threatening me with that. What should I be doing about it? It's not that level of scary, because it doesn't. If it's in neutral, it doesn't really do anything. You have to manually trigger it, or get someone to block stuff, or get hit by it. Get hit by anything that puts them near the pit. The pit will activate by itself. So, what else about it? It's a good thing to kind of deter people from. Don't, like, when you do that, it's like, oh my god, I should probably not be staying over here, and then you can use that to control the opponent's movement options. If they're threatened by it. If they're not threatened by it, then show them that they should be threatened by it by pushing them into it. By the way, pits and pillars are not air unblockable. I don't think she has any specials outside of this that are air unblockable. So, actually, I'm not sure. I don't know, 63As are air unblockable. Let's learn together. Oh, it's okay. 63A is not air unblockable. Air blockable, so you cannot block it in the air. So, good to know. I don't know if it's going to be relevant at any point, but good to know, nonetheless. So, that's basically pit. Pit is extremely. I can't stress this enough how stupid pit is, especially if your execution gets really good. If you confirm off of anything into a pit, like, oh yeah. Not very good at this. Try to go in the corner. You know, if you're really good at it, and you've probably heard me talking about the infinite a little bit, if you get a confirm into it, it's extremely, extremely, extremely strong on paper. But you know, if you're looking to be a good F V Akiha player, you're gonna explore this, and it's gonna be really, really strong for you to set up stuff into this, because one, what Pit allows you to do is, let me just push it out of it a little bit. Normally when you do 5B 5C, actually it's much better in the corner. Or near the corner anyway. Like when you set up someone and you're trying to do something, you're trying to do some mix-ups, most of the time if you want to continue your pressure, you'll be doing like 2A, 2A, dash 2A, dash 2A, dash 2A, 2A related mix-ups, because it's really plus on blocks, like +3, and you get like good mixes off of it. But the thing with pits is that if you set it up over here, I'm kind of getting into Oki a little bit, but it's extremely useful to know because of the nature of the character. If you set up a pit somewhere, your 5B 5C becomes a, for lack of a better word, safe block string that you can continue mixes after. On hit, it's gonna push you. Oh, by the way, if they get hit by pit, you can hold towards or back to push them in whatever direction you want. Extremely useful for infinite confirms. If you do it normally, it'll push them towards you. But you can hold towards or 6 to kind of push them away. Really good for infinite confirms if you're really good at it. If you want to get good at it. But yeah, so like if you're over here, your 5B, especially if they block it, like your 5B suddenly becomes like plus half a trillion on block. You know, it really. And your jump C as well, it's really easy to confirm off it. You don't need to jump C to a 2A, you know. It increases the damage. It increases the damage of your mixes by a ton, and makes it a lot safer to attempt bigger reads with like 5B, you know, and jump C by itself. Not necessarily have to convert off of it the 2A if you want to hit confirm, you know. And of course, if you make them block something into it, let me just make them block something into it. If they block something, they can't push towards you. They'll always be pushed away. But if you do 5B and they push away, you still get to continue mix stuff of it. You know, especially like if you're over here and then you do 5B. Oh, you know, you still get to do more mix-ups. So it makes your stronger highs and lows a lot more threatening on Oki. So if whenever you can set up Pit Oki versus Pillar Oki. Pillar Oki is fine. Pillar Oki is easy to go for, but Pit Oki is really where the damage lies. The problem with Pit Oki is it's already set up, and the damage is a little bit. The damage for the Pit confirms is a little bit lower than the damage for the Pillar confirms, especially if you want to put meter in the equation. So, but even so, it's super, super, super good if you can set it up. If you can set up Pit confirms. And if you get a hit and you're a god, you can go into the infinite. It's gonna be sad times for anybody who plays here. But yeah, you know, so much damage potential in the ground in the air pit setups. So yeah, it's really good move for Oki. Decently good tool for neutral. Okay tool as a movement option. Puffball. This is where the real garbage of this character lies in neutral. Puffball, I mentioned before, if you do the air version, it pushes you towards. If you do the B version, it pushes you back. The momentum is affected by dash jumps. You know, you can see that. You just saw how stupidly ambiguous that blocking was. This is where this character is really stupid, because that's not even. First of all, that she's left the hitbox. Let me just use my mouse here. She's left the hitbox over there. So if you want to challenge that, you can't go there. You have to go above that way, and you can't you can't really go that way. You know, you can't jump straight up. You're gonna get hit by the puffball. The puffball is a pretty damn good hitbox. So it's an extremely stupid tool in terms of. It also, if you don't know, let me just set it up so you can see it properly. No, not command list. Her hitbox. There's no hitbox over here. There's no hitbox anywhere near. The hitbox is over here. There's nothing over here. Nothing. No hitbox. So stupid. It's incredibly stupid as a tool that I'm just above you. You just have to deal with it. And if it hits the hard knockdown, then you can use to continue Oki. You know. You know. She's blocking everything. That's why. It's a hard knockdown, and then you get knocked down, then you get Oki. Or if you're really good, you can do stuff like that was really late. You know, you can do stuff like that. It's not terribly strong, but it does exist. So you always need to keep that in mind whenever you're trying to do Oki stuff with this character. Really stupid tool. It will. It's basically like if you're. If she's over here, what's a good way to set that up? If she's right around here, F V Akiha, I mean, as the opponent, you should be scared of trying to challenge this thing. You can't challenge it because if she has puffball, you're gonna eat it. You can't get away from it. The best you can do is just block it and trying to hope that it works out for you, because you can't challenge it from the ground to the air. You can challenge it if she does it at like this height, because when you do the puffball, there's nothing in front of her. There's no hitbox over here at all. It's like a dive kick from Street Fighter or any other fighting game, but like worse in terms of a really stupidly strong threat from like above you. But if you try to air it, if you try to air it, it's basically got no vertical hitbox present, so to speak. So if the F V Akiha misjudges the height and tries to go for a puffball when you're over here, she's gonna lose. She's gonna lose really badly. So, but converting off of it to actually getting that is difficult because this move has fairly good recovery and really difficult to kind of bait. And she can do that and like just jump A and do that and just kind of run away after that again. Run away after it really well. So keep that in mind. If you are using F V Akiha, it's important to mix up the B and A versions so that the opponent doesn't know which way to go to catch you. If you keep doing this one, you put yourself in the corner really well, because of your air dashes and your puffballs. But two, it's also, predictable, and you don't want to be predictable. You don't want Geese Howard showing up to your face and calling you predictable. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. It's really good. It's gonna be an awful time for you. So, keep that in mind. What else? But there's puffball. There's that. Puffball, you can use it in combos to set up knockdowns. Mid screen, it's really hard. And I messed it up because it's too hard. Oh god. God. I swear it's possible. You can do stuff like that. You generally don't want to do the A version because it'll cross you up. It can be useful, but usually you want the B version to hit. It's harder. B version is harder to hit on some characters than the A version for some reason. Like that. You would do stuff like that if you wanted the mirrorless hard knockdown. Or you could go for air throw, whichever one you prefer, but this one has more frame advantage. Sorry. Damn, I'm gonna choke it up. But, yeah. Puffball can also give you knockdown in the corner. You can do stuff off of it. It's really good mix-ups. And especially if you get someone to block something. it's just tough times, man. How you gonna? And especially, it's really good it's really good as a pressure reset if you TK it like that. Like if you run up and throw someone and you do actually, you don't just mess it up like an idiot. You do that. It's really hard to deal with because one, hits because of the hurtbox issue. Some characters like see Arc, her DP, her 2-2B will just she'll go that way. Like imagine imagine this one is C Arc, and her DP will go that way, but you will go that way, and your hitbox is like inside of you. It's just stupid, and her DP will lose to your 236A. It's a thing that will happen, you know. So the opponent needs to hold that basically, and they can't bash in those situations, you know. Of course, there are other DPs that may or may not lose. It all depends on the situation, but generally, it's a really strong pressure tool to have. Like if you do that, do that, ba ba ba, and if it gets blocked or if it gets shielded, you have your options. You have, oh god, you have your double jump, you have a forward air dash, you have your normals coming down. If you haven't seen it, there's an infinite block string. It's not really an infinite block string, but there's a thing that exists that's really funny. Let me show that right here. But where you can, yeah, you can do stuff like that, and not be bad at it if you mess it up. You know, you can do stuff like that because you get infinite puffballs, and the puffballs don't limit your actions. You can do stuff like that. It's really silly. It's never gonna work on anybody, but it's just fun to know. If you really want to style on someone that's like has no idea what's going on, you can do that. No, don't do that. This is dumb. You can do. I mean, it's absolutely not a block string because the 2-6A is mid, and if they crouch block it, the jump A will just whiff over the head. But if they want to crouch block it, you got the jump C coming down. Like, oh god. You know, you can jump C if you're good. Whatever. Don't mess with it too much. It's being too late anyway. But yeah, that's most of our specials. That was their normals. Specials. I'm not forgetting something. Oh yeah, pin explosion. In the air, it's not as good. Don't bother with it. It's. I mean, like I said again, don't bother with pit explosives at all. Pit like manual pit triggers at all. Don't mess with it. But like the air version especially, just don't mess with it at all. Oh. So yeah, can't really think of any other special. Let's talk about her arc drive and another arc drive. The non-heat version doesn't go full screen. It's gonna miss over here. It's gonna go this far, I think. Yeah, it's gonna miss right there. It's a really good full screen. It's like a ghetto Zero or 260, except you don't get super great OP off it, and you're not Zero. That's the big difference. It's not fully full screen. The another Octave version does go full screen. It can be used as it's a once in a blue moon thing again. If someone gets really complacent with, oh, I'm just gonna try to like build meter over the side like charging, bro, you can call it out and like, no, you can't do that. Not with the AD version if you're that far away, but with the AAD version, like you can't do that. Let me show the damage real quick. The A version is 3000. The AAD version does a lot more damage. Of course, this is F V Akiha, so damage has to be kept in. You need to keep that in mind whenever you think of what damages you're doing. Coming into it's not worth it. F V Akiha in general, it's not a extremely high meter dependent character. Most of the time most of the time you spend meter is gonna be like on this kind of a setup, mid screen. But you can play her so that you're just optimizing for the corner carry as much as possible. When then you get in the corner, you can do Momiji loops and Momiji loops to build a ton of meters. So any meter you might have spent in the in mid screen trying to get like C puffball into mix up, you can just use get to the corner and use Momiji loops to build that meter back. In the corner, 63C has some. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Uh, it can pick up if you're doing 360, you can pick up off the ground with it. It won't go off the ground because it shouldn't work off the ground. It would be stupid not to. You're stupid if you do that. Mid screen is kind of hard, like I showed you. That was it. It really is like spacing specific. Uh, but if you do 63C, you can set up pits after it. So if you have the proper setup for it, you can do a lot of damage off of it. If you set the pits up and stuff like that, really good. That's usually where most of your meter goes. Outside of IH, maybe, especially if you're getting hit and then you build a little bit of meter, you can use IH to get that red life that you've accumulated, get that back. And you can just throw, but IH also exists. And actually, let me show that. You can do stuff like that. It's really good damage. So that's 216 for 2603C 236C Oki bit screen, and not that 63C as a very 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 occasional reversal, and as a if you want to do something in the corner for mix-ups, the corner setup I'll show later in the Noki video. That is usually where her meter goes. You don't spend a lot of time kind of fishing for meter for that. Not worth it. I mean, it can be situationally useful especially if you have the underarc drive, and then oh my god, I got him. But you don't want to bother with that too much. I mean, if you're not bad like me, you can do stuff like that if you really wanted to, but it's not, there's no Oki off of it, whatever, who cares? Doesn't really matter. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for normal specials. Went through a little bit of meter management. Oh yeah, since she is an F Moon character, always know that this is an option for you. E gives you charging, and you build a lot of meter. Fair amount of meter anyway. Like if you're over here, you do if you really wanted to build some meter or whatever, you can I can just 2d6C, 6c and kind of build meter off of it. If you really wanted to, if it will push you over the edge, for a max, you can use that. Trying to think of anything else for normal specials. Nothing that I can think of. After this, I'll probably just go into neutral game, but I've mostly explained all of it, most of it anyway. It's just I don't know what I'm gonna do for neutral game actually. Neutral game is basically use your good normals, use your specials, be at the right spacing, know how to move properly. Nothing too complicated to say. I mean, neutral game by itself is a very difficult topic to kind of just talk about, because of how fluid it is. So a lot of it is just playing and getting it right, But other than that, I can't really think of anything else. 5A, 5B, 5C, 2A, 2B. Don't bother with this move at all. It's not worth it. 2C, 4C, 6C. 3C. Haha, he can combo into 6C. No one cares. There's a situation that exists, but it's not worth it. Don't do that. Do that if you want to style. F V Akiha has a fair bit of style, actually. especially if you think about like optimizations and stuff like that. Really stylish character, really individualistic, and kind of really can't think of any other things with her normals, specials, arc drive. Let me just show her Lost Shark. Lost Shark, I guess. Where is it? It's as anime as you can get, really. Um, and that actually did a very bit of damage when you think about it. But you know, it's anime, so according to the lore, something or other, I don't know. Hey, you get that. Yeah, it's a fair bit of damage. Who cares? Well, no one cares. Lost Sharks are stupid anyway. No one really cares. But yeah, can't think of anything else really. Uh, neutral game, Oki. Guess. I guess I can kind of go in neutral game like, oh, what common situations does she have to deal with and how she can deal with it. I guess I can do that. But Oki is fairly simple. Combos I can just link you. The only thing that isn't in the combo video that is a thing that can potentially be useful is this. And if you're not bad at it, you can do it. That is a fairly good thing to know. In my opinion, anyway. Most people, I haven't seen any Japanese player do it, so I'm sure they know it exists, but they just want to use the 260 anyway. So I don't know. I'm kind of tired. Oh yeah, 260. I forgot about this. It's a really good tool to get damage in combos. Uh, you can look in the combo video that I'll be linking next to it for combos and what to do after it. So can't think of anything else. That's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys. Next, I'm probably gonna just go over like, oh, what common scenarios does she have to deal with in terms of username, how many different solutions you have, and after that, it's probably just basic Oki and mix-ups, and that would pretty much be it. Because combos I don't want to do, basic Oki and mix-ups I can do, and neutral game I can do. So that was that, and catch you guys later.